If you've ever asked for a voice that sounds professional, warm, or energetic, there's one question that can make that direction much more useful. Who is listening? And if you're creating a video or a training module, an audiobook, commercial, healthcare script, or advocacy message, this matters to you because your audience is not just hearing words. They're deciding whether they can follow the message, whether they trust it, whether it feels like it was made for them, whether they even want to keep listening. That is why a script does not exist in a vacuum. It's held within a relationship between the voice and the listener. That listener might be a new employee, a patient, a customer, a voter, a reader, a person trying to understand something new. Each listener brings a different need to the message, and that changes what the voice needs to do. Hi, I'm Jennifer. I'm both a voice actor and a psychologist, so my work in psychology shapes how I think about what the listener needs from the voice. One of the first questions I ask before recording is, who is on the other side? Who's listening? Because once I understand who's listening, I can make better choices about tone, pace, warmth, energy, and space. That matters to you because the right read can help your audience stay with a message long enough to understand it, trust it, and know what to do next. Let's start with an explainer video as an example. If the audience is brand new to the topic, the voice may need to feel clear, patient, and easy to follow. The listener needs subtle direction around where to place their attention. They need a pace and tone to help them feel like they can keep up. They may need a little more space between ideas because the information is new to them. But if the audience already understands the topic, the read may need more momentum, more confidence, a little less explanation in the tone. Same kind of script, different listener, so therefore a different read. Now, think about audiobook narration. The listener isn't giving you just 30 seconds. They may be giving you hours, so the voice has to build trust over time. For nonfiction, the read may need to feel like a thoughtful guide. For a memoir, it may need more intimacy and care. For fiction or fantasy, it may need emotional truth, character awareness, and pacing that honors the story. That matters because an audiobook listener is not just receiving information. They are spending time in relationship with the voice. If the pacing feels off, they may drift. If the tone feels forced, they may disconnect. If the voice feels steady, human, and connected to the story, they're more likely to stick with it. In fact, they're more likely to become immersed in the story and frankly forget all about the voice, which is kind of the point. Political and advocacy voiceover brings another kind of audience relationship. The listener may already have strong opinions. They may be kind of skeptical. They may be listening for signals of credibility, values, urgency, and trust. So the voice cannot simply sound intense just because the stakes are high. It has to feel grounded. The read may need conviction, or it may need more restraint. It may need enough space for the listener to feel the importance of the message without feeling pushed. That is a very specific kind of relationship, and it requires a very careful tone. This is also where my psychology background shapes the way I approach voiceover. In real life, people listen differently depending on how they feel in a relationship. If someone feels judged, they may hear the message more defensively. If they feel safe, they may take in more nuance. If they feel rushed, they may just tune out and miss important meaning. If they feel respected, they're going to stay more open. And that same human truth shows up in voiceover. The audience is likely never going to see the person behind the voice. In fact, they may not even think about it, but they are still having an experience of being spoken to, and that experience matters. A corporate audience listening to a leadership message may need steadiness and credibility. An employee taking compliance training may need the voice to feel respectful and clear. A customer watching a commercial may need the message to feel relevant and believable. A museum visitor listening to a guided tour may need warmth and room to notice what's going on around them. A patient listening to healthcare information may need calm and care. This matters to you because different audiences are asking different questions while they're listening. Can I trust this? Can I follow this? Is this for me? Do I feel respected? Do I want to even keep listening? The voice helps answer those questions quickly. That is why audience awareness is such a big part of my process. Before I record, I want to understand more than just the words. I want to understand the listener's position. What do they already know? What might they be feeling? What are they being asked to do with this message? Are they learning new information? Are they deciding something important? Are they being asked to take an action step? Are they just entering a story for entertainment? Those questions shape the read. They shape the pace, the tone, the closeness of the voice, the amount of energy or space that's needed. That is what I mean by the relationship inside the read. Every script creates a relationship with the listener, and different listeners need different kinds of support from the voice. So if you're working on a script and trying to choose the right voice, don't start only with what kind of voice sounds good. Start with who is listening? What do they need from this message? What do they need from the voice in order to stay with it? That one shift can make your voice direction much stronger. Instead of saying, make it professional, you might say, this is for new employees who may feel overwhelmed, so the read needs to feel welcoming and clear. Instead of saying, make it warm, you might say, this is for patients hearing complex information, so we need warmth and steadiness. Instead of saying, make it energetic, you might say, this is for customers who may be skeptical, so we need energy that still feels believable. That kind of direction helps the read serve the listener. And when the read serves the listener, the message has a better chance of landing. Because when people feel connected, they listen differently. To me, voiceover is not just reading a script. It's understanding the audience well enough to help the message reach them. That is the relationship inside the read. If your script needs to speak to a specific audience, visit sendmyscript.com. Follow the simple steps and send it my way. I'd love to help you shape a read that meets your listeners where they are.